So I figured this would be the best time to make this video, considering we're still in the middle of a pandemic and millions of Americans are still currently unemployed, not knowing where their next paycheck is coming from, or if it's coming from unemployment or a stimulus package that we have yet to receive. So with that being said, many people are having to choose between putting food on their table or paying their mortgages versus paying for their credit cards or their loan payments, meaning that a lot of accounts are going to default or going to become delinquent. So what exactly happens to those accounts after they become delinquent, after they've defaulted, after they have not received payment on them for more than 180 days? So in today's video, we're going to discuss one of my personal favorite topics. This is something that I do all day, every day, and that is how to settle debt collection accounts. But before we get into that, just want to thank you again for tuning in. My name is Camilla Mills, and you're watching another episode of BossLux, a channel documenting a journey to success, because success begins with the mind. So let's get right into it. Your account has officially gone delinquent. You have defaulted on it. You stopped making payments on it, and it's been about 180 days since the creditor last received a payment on the account. Okay, what happens next? Well, the account is now charged off. The creditor can either keep the account for themselves, you can call in whenever you want to make a payment, or they can sell the account for pennies on the dollar to a third-party agency. Okay, so looking at the definition, what exactly does charge off mean? Charge off is pretty much a declaration by the creditor saying that the amount of debt owed is not likely to be collected on. I don't know what that means, but in simpler terms, essentially the account has stopped accruing interest. In most cases, I should say, actually, the account has stopped accruing interest. The creditor, is up to the creditor's discretion if they want to continue collecting on the account, because at this point they've probably lost out on it, or they can sell it to a third-party agency for pennies on the dollar. Now they're getting a portion of the debt rather than the full amount, which they are going to be okay with. Okay. So, your account is now currently with a third-party agency. They will be sending you correspondence to your house letting you know this account has transferred from this creditor to this collection agency. You have 30 days or however many days to respond to this for them to settle the account, review the account, cancel the account, whatever the case is going to be outlined in that correspondence. Now, the worst thing you can do is ignore that correspondence. You do not want to ignore that correspondence. You have it. They're giving you an opportunity to respond to it. However way you figure it out, talk to them. No response is a response. Now, I know it may seem a little intimidating once your account goes into collection agency and it seems like they're coming after you. They're probably giving you calls and just blowing up your phone trying to get their money. At the end of the day, we really have to keep in mind that they are human. They are collection agencies. They are just looking to do their job. Pick up the phone, speak to them, and really just explain your hardship to them. Now, as soon as you pick up the phone, they're going to tell you something along the lines of, this is an attempt to collect the debt. Any information obtained will be used for that purpose. Do not run from that message. That message is just a disclosure they have to say to you. It is not something to be afraid of. That disclosure does not mean that you have to pay that debt right then and there. It is just a disclosure that they have to read to all consumers that call in, or third-party debt collectors or debt settlement companies actually that call in on behalf of the consumer. So now you have the debt collector on the phone. What's the next step? Hear them out. Listen to their offers, what options they have. Verify your information that they're going to ask you, and they're going to probably ask you for a hardship. What is your hardship? What caused you to miss that payment on that account? Anything along the lines of reduction of income is going to help your cause. You are unemployed, you lost your job, you were hospitalized, you were out of work for some time, you went through a divorce, there was a reduction of income, bills got separated, you got custody of your kids, whatever the case is, anything that has to do with a reduction of income use it. Once all your information has been verified, once you provide them with the hardship information, they're going to ask you, well, would you like to pay this account in full today? You say no. You do not want to pay that account in full today. There's a reason you missed that payment, or there's a reason you missed those payments and couldn't pay the account. So you need to use that to your advantage and tell them, no, we're going to pay this in a settlement and you're going to pay it over a course of payments. So you ask them, well, what's your offer? Whatever their offer is, offer them something lower. Their job is to get as much of the debt that they paid back to them. So if they paid $1,000 for let's say a $10,000 account, which is 10 cents on the dollar, they're going to ask you for $7,000. Whether it's in a number of payments or a lump sum, it's going to be $7,000. You can offer $4,000. You can offer $4,000. You say, all right, listen, I don't have $7,000 to pay you in a lump sum. I don't have $7,000 to pay you in 10 months. I can give you $4,000 in 4 months. That'll be 4 equal payments of $1,250. Is that something you'd be able to do? If they say yes, great. Look at you. You just settled your first debt. You're done and over that debt. Do not send them a dime until you get anything in writing. If they deny that or they decline that offer, they will counter that offer with something higher. So instead of 20%, they're probably going to request something along the lines of 70, maybe 60, maybe even 50% on the debt. So instead of the $7,000, they're going to reduce it to $5,000. Go ahead, go for it, settle it. You can probably get that within pays. Whatever is feasible for you, do it. At this point, you're really just negotiating what you can afford. Whatever is feasible for your pockets at the time, go for it. But you don't want to send them any money unless you have something in writing stating that, yes, we are willing to settle this debt for this amount and this many payments. You want everything in documentation, because who's to say that once you pay off that debt, they're not going to come back and say, hey, we never received your payment, when you know good and well you sent in that payment. I cannot stress this enough. Do not, I repeat, do not send them a dime unless you have it in writing stating what your terms of their agreement is. So now you've received your settlement letter agreement. You're going to review the document to make sure everything matches what you discussed with that representative on the phone. Check on the balance. You're going to check on the settlement offer amount. You're going to check on the payment due dates. When the payments are due. Do they have it for the 29th or do they have it for the 30th? Did you discuss the 25th? All of these things matter. Why? Because if you send in a payment on the 2nd and the payment due date is on the 29th, are they going to scrap the whole settlement agreement? Is it going to be null and void? You want to make sure everything matches to the T. So we reviewed the settlement letter agreement and it matches. Okay, great. Perfect. So payments. I know a lot of people aren't going to feel comfortable giving their bank account information to a debt collector who's trying to get money from them. You know, do you feel comfortable? Are they going to take more than they really need to? They won't, because there is an agreement. But there are many ways to make those payments. You can either pay online, you can pay over the phone, or you can send in check by mail. Now, if you decide you're going to give them a call and give them the information over the phone, ask them while you have them on the phone, is there any way you can set up automatic payments if you're comfortable doing that? Now, setting up automatic payments is going to ensure that you're not really going to have to remember to make those payments every single month. They're just going to debit your account every month. Once the account is settled, the account is settled. Which brings me to my next topic. Once the account is settled, what happens next? Give them a call one more time and ask for a letter of satisfaction. So what is a letter of satisfaction? A letter of satisfaction is the debt collector telling or informing the credit bureaus that you are done paying this debt. You have satisfied this debt. You're done. It is going to report on your credit report as either paid as agreed, paid as less than agreed, or settled. Best practice after you've paid off the account and you've settled the account is to obtain that letter of satisfaction from the debt collector. But if you don't receive that, that is okay. You generally want to have that for your records just to prove that you did pay it off. So if you haven't received the letter, that is completely fine. Not only do you have a settlement letter agreement, you do also have proof of payments that if there ever was a situation to arise saying that you hadn't paid, you do have that on hand. So that's completely fine. So now that the account is actually marked as paid as agreed, paid as less than settled, or whatever the verbiage is on your credit report, does it have a negative effect on your credit score? That one's a little tricky because the debt being open had more of a negative effect on your credit score because of all the delinquent accounts that were showing up, all the missed payments that were reporting to the credit bureaus. So now that the account is officially closed, yes, the account is closed, but that closes out the utilization on that card. It closes out the delinquents on that card. Does it still hurt your score? Yes, because you still have those delinquents on your report. On the bright side, you don't owe the debt anymore. Unfortunately, that will stay on your credit report for 7 years. However, there are ways to get those removed off of your credit report. You can absolutely give the creditor a call and negotiate that to be removed off of your report altogether. There are many ways to get that removed off of your credit report, which I do discuss that in many of my other videos, along with removing late payments, hard inquiries, and debt collection accounts. So be sure to check those out. They will be in the art card above. Your account is officially settled. Congratulations. Now I know that was a lot that I just went through, but if you have any questions for me, comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this video. If you like information like this, go ahead and comment below and let me know. I will definitely put out more videos. I post the videos every Thursdays about finance, entrepreneurship, and self-development. So if you do like these videos, be sure to check out the rest of the channel. Looking forward to see you next week. Appreciate you guys as usual. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and slam that like button, press the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. Before I let you go, always remember, success begins with the mind.